What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. Today is episode 94. I'm your host, Big Cam, and today we're going to hop right into it. We got some posters for some upcoming movies coming out in December. We got a couple new images and things coming out about Loki Season 2. I Am Groot Season 2 came out last week, and I watched them. The shorts are very funny. We got to talk about that for a second. My favorite one was probably the one with the ice cream. All of a sudden, he just like gets mad and flies through the ice cream machine and he destroys it. Like, what does that mean? And he gets like Nova Corps surrounds him. So I don't know if that was an unmanned ice cream machine, but if it's not, Groot might have just killed an ice cream man. Maybe he's in trouble for that. Baby Groot's a menace. The episode with the nose was pretty funny. The last one with the Watcher. I just love to see the Watcher in somewhat live action, you know what I mean? The day we see Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher in the MCU is going to be a great freaking day. Speaking of the Watcher, what if Season 2 is rumored to have their 9-episode release to be coming out, I believe, end of this year or early next year? But the episodes will be: what if Gamora killed Thanos? What if Captain Carter finds Hydra Stomper? Continued from Season 1. What if the Tesseract landed in Hadron Confederacy before the colonization of America? Introduction of the new hero Kahori? Interesting. Probably should have proofread this first rhyme. The next one is: what if Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne fought the Red Guardian during 1980s? So what if Ant-Man and the Wasp, the first version, fought David Harbour? That's interesting. What if Yondu delivered Star-Lord to Ego? Ooh, not good. What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? Maybe that's the Christmas episode. Iron Man 3, if you would. What if Wanda had grown up watching musicals instead of sitcoms? Oh, so WandaVision the musical. Interesting. What if Odin and Hela had faced Wenwu, the Legend of the Ten Rings? What if the Avengers had fought Surtur? So fought like Ragnarok off. So Asgard still exists. Interesting. The first season of that, a lot of people watched it or they didn't. They were didn't know how to feel about MCU venturing into animated stuff. I'm not mad at it, you know, like, especially now I'm watching Star Wars live action and animated, kind of going back and forth between Rebels and Ahsoka. You know, like, I'm really not mad at it. As long as the storytelling's good, whatever. And I thought Season 1, at least the very end of Season 1 with the Ultron stuff, I thought that was great, you know. So in that one episode with Doctor Strange, what if Doctor Strange has lost his heart instead of his hands? I think that was the title. But either way, Season 1 was pretty good. So Season 2, some exciting stuff there. Poster and a little trailer came out for this movie called The Bike Riders. And it's going to star Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, and Tom Hardy. And they're a biker gang, kind of like Sons of Anarchy, I guess. The Bike Riders. Austin Butler, man, coming off of Elvis. I like that he's, you know, looks at least more like himself. He doesn't have that jet black Elvis hair. And, you know, he still kind of has that Elvis accent, but I don't know, maybe it just made his voice deeper. This is down here, it's deeper, you know? But I like Austin Butler a lot. I think he's looking good and mean. He kind of looks like Jax from Sons of Anarchy, Charlie Hunnam. You know, that's the vibe I get from him and his hair here. So, I don't know, maybe they're trying to do something along the lines of that. But I'm a sucker for a love story, and the trailer starts out between a love story between Jodie Comer here and Austin Butler. So hey, I'm gonna fucking probably check that movie out. December 1st, that movie comes out. And Tom Hardy's the leader of the biker gang. So like, you know, you're gonna have scenes Tom Hardy, Austin Butler. You know, it's just gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a good movie. So keep your eyes out for that one. Stay tuned. Some new images of Ke Huy Quan's character OB for Loki Season 2 have come out, and I don't know what he's working on here. Some type of machine, but you can see over in the bottom left there, he's got a popcorn tin. I'm trying to look at the shelves, see if he's got anything else notable to point out. I'm sure other people will point it out, but you see Loki and Mobius looking down. But even just the shot, you know, if that's going to be in Loki season 2, that's just a good shot with the checkered ceiling, but with the round case. Like, it's the way that the sets and the way the Loki is shot just looks so amazing. So last week, episode 4 of Ahsoka ended with a huge cliffhanger. So episode 5 coming out tomorrow, we're super excited for. It's directed by Dave Filoni. It is in some theaters getting a theatrical release. You know, so that's super exciting stuff. But where did we leave off? We left off, Ahsoka is talking to Anakin freaking Skywalker. Is he a ghost? Is he a vision? Is he something? Who knows? We'll probably figure it out next episode. Sabine is with Baylan and Shin and Morgan Elsbeth going to Thrawn. So I believe this next episode we're going to see Thrawn for the first time. We may even see Ezra. We may be in the world between worlds with Anakin. We may find out that he might be, you know, from the Mortis arc, he might be the son, you know, and she might be the daughter, and the father is who, I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to be like the Emperor now. But the father's supposed to be the mix of both, right? The daughter is supposed to be all light, the son's supposed to be all dark, and the father's supposed to be, you know, the bridge in the middle. So, you know, the last we saw, the father died, Anakin killed the son, Ahsoka became the daughter. You know, so like, it's very strange stuff that happened in Clone Wars, and I wonder if they'll talk about it here, but some people are saying maybe this is just a vision of Anakin, and it's actually the son pretending to be Anakin. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to find out. Hera's going to be in this next episode pointing guns at people. Who is she pointing guns at? Who knows? I did find it very interesting that Baylan's conversation with Sabine last episode, we found out that her family died on Mandalore, probably in that night of 1,000 Tears, where the Empire bombed Mandalore. We've seen in Mando season 4, I think, or season 3. Whatever the last Mando season was, they actually go to Mandalore, and you see that from this bombing, there's green crystals that are now all over the surface of Mandalore. You know, it's kind of heartbreaking to know, though, that Sabine lost her rebel friends, whether it's Hera, Kanan, Ahsoka, Zeb. You know, I would like to see them all back together. Obviously, we might not be able to see Kanan, but I have a feeling maybe we'll see Kanan in this series at some point, somehow, some way. Maybe that Loth Wolf, who knows. But I would like to see my Rebels gang back together fighting Admiral Thrawn. He's just a little bastard. Sabine, man. Sabine went with Baylan, and that's just no good. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I love that I don't, right? Like, I love that this show hasn't gone off on side quests, much like Mandalorian. You know, all of a sudden they have to save, you know, Paz Vizsla's son. You know, like, there's a place for side quests and side missions and stuff if you're just kind of going along, but as an audience, we do feel the side quest. We feel like, okay, this is a filler episode. I haven't felt like any episode of Ahsoka so far has just been a filler episode. I felt like every single one of them has progressed the story further. And they're still on one main focus. You know, there's no real side mission. They're all heading towards Thrawn, and that's where they're going. You know what I mean? Like, and this kind of threw a cliffhanger in there, because you thought, you know, maybe Ahsoka and Sabine would have got there first, but no, the bad guys won. The bad guys accomplished their mission. They took off in their giant hyperspeed ring, and they're with Sabine heading towards Thrawn. And I think this next episode we're going to get Thrawn. We're going to get more Anakin, because they wouldn't just leave you in the world between worlds with, hey, Snips, you got here sooner than I thought. You know, like, they wouldn't have done that and then cut to credits without us seeing Ahsoka in that same world at the start of the next episode. So I think this next one, especially being directed by Dave Filoni, is going to be huge. There has been rumors that there was supposed to be, in this maybe World Between Worlds, they were gonna have a Ahsoka versus Anakin in Mustafar fight instead of Obi-Wan in Anakin. But it got cut for some unknown reason. I think maybe that could still be a thing, but I don't know. Maybe not. But I don't know. This is some fan-made art. Ahsoka with the lightsabers and fighting a younger Anakin turning into Darth Vader. Oh, but something doesn't seem right about Anakin in that World Between Worlds, because why would they end with Anakin that we know with his face all white and not charred and burnt off, but end the episode with the bam 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 bam, you know, like the Darth Vader theme. I don't know, man. That shit is just gonna be exciting. I don't know what to expect, but I know it's gonna be good, and that's exciting stuff for Star Wars right now. You know, we don't know exactly where it's going. We don't need to know exactly where it's going. We just kind of are going. You know what I mean? Like, we're just happening. But then after Ahsoka in October, coming up very fast, we're gonna have Loki season 2. Jonathan Majors is still going through his court case, so nobody really knows what's the deal with him. Although I have heard some news recently that it's looking better for him. It's not necessarily looking worse. So that's a positive, I guess. But I was real interested to see whether or not his character, Victor Timely, and Kang and He Who Remains, whatever other versions of him. But we know from the trailers that Victor Timely is going to be in the show. And we know that from Quantumania post-credit scene as well. Victor Timely has reportedly is going to be in about half of the episodes. So, I mean, 6 episodes, he's going to be in 3 of them. I ain't mad at that, you know, better than just, oh, here's the big villain at the end in episode 6, like season 1, you know, like, it's at least going to get further the story, you know what I mean? It's not just going to be, oh, there's going to be 5 episodes, and then they're going to get to him, and then it's going to be, he's going to die, you know, like, you want to repeat all the successes of Loki season 1, but you don't want to do exactly the same thing as Loki season 1. You want to carry on the story and you want to progress it further. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Ahsoka. I'm excited for both of those. I just finished Rebels season 4 finale. Very heartbreaking show, but you love to see that Ezra sacrificed himself. Very Jedi-like. But Ezra now has been with Thrawn for however many years, so we don't know what Ezra could be up to. Maybe Thrawn, in his swift talking ways, got to Ezra. Who knows? Maybe Ezra's taking a turn for the dark side. I don't know. Very scary. But we have done a couple more movies, so that there will be movie reviews coming to the channel very soon. We're continuing our Marvel movie rewatch. We have done Deadpool and Captain America Civil War, 2 of my favorites. And next up in the Marvel timeline order rewatch, we have X-Men Apocalypse, we have Doctor Strange, we have Logan, Guardians 2, Homecoming, Ragnarok, and Black Panther. And then after that we have Infinity War. So we're almost back up to the real hype stuff, but I gotta say, Logan, Guardians 2, Homecoming, Ragnarok, Black Panther, some of my favorite movies in the MCU in general. Even Doctor Strange. Apocalypse, not so much, but we're getting towards the tail end of those X-Men movies. We still have Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. So, those are mixed in there somehow, some way, but we'll get through them, and then we'll be done. But Logan was the one I was really trying to get to. That's probably my favorite of the X-Men movies. It was just so well done. Plus, Hugh Jackman, we really thought that was going to be the last time we were going to see him. Thank God we're going to see him in Deadpool 3. Obviously, Deadpool 2 had Cable and Zazie Beetz. She's great. He's great. They're both great together. But Deadpool 1, man. Oh, man, it was just it was an amazing movie for its time, right? Like 2016 came out on Valentine's Day. I was in the middle of high school. Me and my buddy went to saw it on Valentine's Day, and it was perfectly made, because even the opening credits, right? Like he can break the fourth wall and he's talking to the audience. Your boyfriend probably told you that this was a superhero movie, but that guy just made that other guy into a fucking kebab, you know? Like, he was like, he was like talking directly to the females in the audience that had no idea who Deadpool was, but now they'll never forget. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so well made. The suit looked great. Ryan Reynolds finally gets a chance to show us what Deadpool really frickin' is, and it's no regrets at all. I fucking love that movie. It's, you know, it's a comedy. It's not the best action, best superhero movie, but it is a Deadpool movie, right? Like, they nailed what it's supposed to be. They nailed Ryan Reynolds, you know, even TJ Miller. He's hilarious. Having the two X-Men, they couldn't have a bunch, but they could have Teenage Negasonic Warhead and Colossus, you know, so they got two. But, you know, you gotta love Francis as well. Francis and his love interest there is just great. But I love that Ryan Reynolds committed to the skin. You know, he committed to this prosthetic, terrible, ugly skin, being one of the most handsome men in Hollywood. He's like, nah, you can make me ugly as hell. I'm down. Yeah, I'm like, oh, but all right. Power to him. Captain America Civil War, though. We'll talk about more of these in their own videos, but comment below. Were you Team Iron Man or were you Team Cap? Iron Man has Spider-Man and Black Panther, but Team Cap has Cap. You know, like, he's Cap. He's fucking Cap, you know? Like, it's my boy. I don't know. I think I was Team Cap originally, but I don't know. I agree with Cap not signing the Accords. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want them to sign the Accords. So that's why mostly I was Team Cap originally. But, you know, after looking back on it, Black Panther, Spider-Man, first appearances in the MCU, and they're on Team Iron Man. I don't know. I can see why people go that team as well. But Ant-Man on Team Cap, first time we're seeing Giant Man. I don't know. It's some good stuff. Hawkeye, you know, he can't do much, but he's still Clint. How you doing? I'm Clint. I don't care. You know, like, poor Black Panther. You know, and then I love that later in Endgame or Infinity War, one of the two, he looks at him and goes, Clint, give it to me. And he gets the glove from Clint, but he remembers his name. That's just what kind of guy Chadwick was. But yesterday was Sunday, so I continued my Star Wars movie rewatches. It's just every Sunday. And we went back and saw Force Awakens, Rey's first movie. As far as the sequel trilogy goes, Rey's movies, this is my favorite one probably. I haven't necessarily watched the other two, Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, much since then, but I loved how this movie paid so much homage to A New Hope. You know what I mean? It brought in everything from A New Hope that you loved, and brought in everything that you remember from those movies, and pretty much, you know, put Rey is Luke, you know, a scrapper driving speeders on a desert planet. And then you have the pilot, Poe Dameron, he's Han Solo. And then you have Finn, he's kind of Chewbacca, you know, but like they have similar stories, not exactly, but you can see how the three of them come together. And then they bring in the old movies, they bring in Han and Chewie, they bring in an older Carrie Fisher, Leia, you know, like they bring in everything. By the end of the movie, you see Mark Hamill as an old man. You know, like it comes all together. You're like, oh fuck, Luke Skywalker, he's back? What? Like, especially after seeing the movie 6 and then getting to 7. I love that Ahsoka Mandalorian is bridging the gap between, so like you can see how much time has gone. But I wish they had like dates, you know, like this episode 6 was 1000 BBY, you know, whatever it is. And then episode 7 is 2000. You're like, how many years? Has it been 1,000 years? Has it been 50 years? Has it been 60? I would love to know how many exact years has it been. Obviously, they don't want to pin it down too much because then there starts to be loopholes and stuff. But still, I like that they're bridging the gap in between, and you can see stuff that went on in between instead of just adding on to the end and continuing to add on. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm still optimistic about Rey's new Jedi movie that's supposed to be after all this. Granted, you know, the things that I didn't like about the sequel trilogy, Palpatine, you know, like having him come back again, you know. But Adam Driver as Kylo, I kind of liked him. You know, he had some badass stuff. You know, like freezing a blaster bolt and freezing them. Like they used to just be able to choke them, freeze their whole body. You know, like that's interesting. How did he learn that? I would like to know that. He had a mask quite like Darth Vader, but it's different. You know, like more modern. I remember seeing that movie in theaters probably like 4 or 5 times with my buddies. Fucking great. It was just a great experience to live through another Star Wars movie, you know, and be at the theater seeing everyone loving Star Wars, you know, like it's just one of those worldwide cultural things that Star Wars movies has affected generations. Because if you were alive during the 70s and 80s, you saw Star Wars, and then if you were alive at my age, your parents had seen Star Wars, and then in the early 2000s, I loved Star Wars growing up as a kid, being 5, 6, 7 years old. Now I'm in high school, 16, 17 years old, and watching Rey's trilogy, right? So, like, I'm getting Star Wars from my parents' love from the 70s, from my own love from my childhood, and now in my high school older age, I'm seeing it again, right? So, just amazing how much Star Wars has grown and built. You know, Liam Neeson the other day was on Conan O'Brien talking shit. Oh, I think there's been so much added to it that they're muddling up the timeline. No, that's not how shit should be. If it's great and it's great storytelling, continue to add on whatever the fuck you want. Like, as long as it's not garbage that's being added on, you know, like, I think it doesn't really matter. It's furthering stories, telling more stories. And he says that, but he came back for Obi-Wan. So, like, you're the problem. If you don't think that they should be having extra shows and adding to it, then don't come back to be Qui-Gon again. We can find somebody else, but you did, so now you're a part of the problem. Like, you contradict your own statement there, bub. But whatever. I'd love to hear from you guys, though. Comment down below. Did you love Rey's trilogy? Did you love at least Force Awakens? That one, to me, is a great movie. It's very entertaining. Seeing the Millennium Falcon come back, seeing Han and Chewie come back. It's just really good stuff all around. But I'll talk more about that in a future review video. And I'll see all of you in the next one. Thank you for coming. My links are down in the description below. Check out my reviews on Letterboxd and all the movies I've watched this year. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. All my links in the description below. But I will see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.